Hey everybody, and welcome to another video. This one is just going to be me talking about some of my favorite buffs. There's a lot of things I enjoy about Galaxy of Heroes, and one of them is getting to use the wealth of different buffs available in the game, whether they be just generic buffs or unique buffs. And spoiler, none of the ones as shown in this thumbnail or this splash page here are in the list. I'm going to go over 10 of them and talk about when they came into the game, and who can give them out, some notable characters that might give it out to everyone, and stuff like that. So, hope you enjoy. Now, before we get into any specific buffs that are my favorites, I just wanted to go over a roll call for buffs, if you will, in the game. So, according to my count, there's 76 total buffs in the game as of the date I'm making this video, with 23 of them being copyable or generic buffs, and a whopping 53 being considered unique buffs. And unique doesn't necessarily mean that only one character can have it, but it's just really specialized to one character. Some examples here being Bounty Hunter's Resolve. There's several characters that can get that. And the Mandalore buff, where, that can pass around to a couple different people. There's plenty of characters that give out damage immunity, but it can't be copied by Yoda, and that might be kind of the standard. And what I'm relying on for this count is the SWGOH wiki page. I think it's wiki.swga.help or something, so shout out to them. And as long as that's accurate, this count should be accurate as well. And the first one we're looking at, this is not in any particular order, is Protection Up. Now, Protection Up is kind of like the pinnacle of a durable team. When I have a team, or when anyone has a team that can throw out tons of Protection Up, you feel just safe and secure. Jedi Master Kenobi, you feel like if you're attacking him, you feel like you're never getting anywhere because all you see is just that purple line of Protection Up. If you have him, you feel safe most of the time, like they're just not going to touch you, and you're going to get pretty much perfect banners a lot of times in Grand Arena. Padme is another big spam of this. It's kind of a Galactic Republic specialty. I don't know when it first came into the game, so this is where I have a segment at the top where I talk about when it first came into the game, and I'm not always sure of when that is. And I don't know exactly when Protection Up got in the game. It might have been like Grandmaster Yoda when he got his Zeta, or like shortly after Zetas got introduced to the game. It might have been Bastila given that Protection Up. She definitely kind of revolutionized it with just the sheer quantity of 200% Protection Up. But Raz gives it out too, and C-3PO, and it just gives you extra protection based on your health, which is a kind of weird concept. It used to be kind of a weird concept for people. Now it's kind of just second nature. But yeah, I just love the durability and safety you get from Protection Up. And Conquest is coming around, and I love me some Entrenched just because of the Protection Up it gives you. We come to our first unique buff we're looking at, and that is Master's Training. I highlighted the unique ones in blue, in case you're not sure if it's unique or not, which it's usually pretty clear. This was first introduced to the game in August 2017, along with its sole proprietor, Hermit Yoda. This is the only way to get this buff out, and I don't think that'll ever change. Gives you 25% of a bonus for a ton of stats: accuracy, defense, offense, potency, and tenacity. Accuracy used to be kind of useful when Set Forward was out, but right now it's kind of like, meh. And they get doubled on Jedi, so it's kind of like an extra offense up on Jedi, which is very nice. The reason I love it is it lasts the entire match. I love using it in the Sith Raid. Hermit Yoda is a staple in any solo Sith Raid team I have, but that is going away soon. And he just, he strengthens the whole team. It's really nice in Territory Battle or Grand Arena or whatever. It's just pretty sweet. The fact that everyone else is getting called to assist every time you apply it, and someone else has it, just pretty cool. Next up, another generic one, very powerful buff, Crit Immunity. If you have this, you just cannot get crit, just plain and simple, no matter if you have 100% crit chance, million, doesn't matter. I don't know when it was first introduced. I don't know if it was General Kenobi, because he hands it out like candy, or what, but he's a notable granter of it. Him, the Short Trooper gives it out to the whole team. Armorer can give it out. Rey gives it out to everyone if she has full health when she uses Lifeblood. And JML is giving it out on his AoE. And it's just a beautifully simple buff. I feel so safe when I have this on my team. That combined with Protection Up, well, Padme and JMK have some natural crit immunity built in when they have protection up, but it's just, I love that security you have with it. I don't think there's any such thing as a locked crit hit immunity, but that would kind of be the ultimate in a security defensive buff for me. Now we got another unique buff, Jedi's Will, and this first came to us in June of 2020 along with Jedi Knight Luke, who is the sole grantor of this buff. It used to be much better, and I don't know if my fondness for it just relates back to what it used to be. It used to be Ignore Defense, which was insane. But it combines a ton of great stuff, and I still think it's an incredible buff and one of the best alongside one of my favorite 100% counter chance. So it's Retribution plus offense up, 50% offense, plus speed up, plus a little bit extra tenacity. That's actually kind of underwhelming because tenacity up gives you like 1,000,000 tenacity percentage. But that is so strong. It's only available to Jedi, and they can't be Galactic Republic. So Revan, Jolee, Bastila, they're out of luck. And it's so nice you can give it to the whole team. Makes things feel really juiced up when you run Jedi Knight Luke lead. And even if he's in an ally slot, he can give it out to himself and one other character. Here comes another unique buff that is not quite unique. Bounty Hunter's Resolve. It's an oldie but a goodie. I'm not sure when it first came into the game as far as like a date, but I'm pretty sure it was with the Boba Fett rework. It's pretty simple, but gives a lot of control. When you die, once you come back with 100% health, and you can ignore taunt. So it's just kind of nice, and it's kind of unique to either Fets or people that wear Fett helmets. It's not all Mandalorians, so it's just like Jango Fett, Boba Fett, sign of Jango, and the Mandalorian. I don't think anyone else gets it, at least not right now. And with these guys, they all are pretty good at dealing damage. Jango is just pure damage himself. Sign of Jango is pretty good in Territory War. It's extremely useful on the Mandalorian, because if you couldn't ignore taunt, you would be stuck most of the time. And then Boba Fett has his Execute, which can be almost like an Annihilate on his own. So you really want these guys to be able to avoid taunts, and that makes this buff really nice, and just coming back from the dead is just a super nice insurance policy. Speaking of oldie but a goodie, we get a day one buff here, offense up, and its beauty is in its simplicity to straight up plus 50% offense. Day one, like I said, November 2015, and there are just so many grantors of it, but there's plenty of characters that give it out to everyone. Shock T on our basic gives it out to everyone. Anakin on his AoE. Veers is giving it up constantly with his abilities. Palpatine's stun doubles as a offense up to everyone. PS4's taunt is that. Poggle cleanses and gives out offense up to everyone. And there's plenty more, I'm sure, that give offense up to everybody. But these characters give it up for sure, and it's very easily controlled. And it's just so simple. There's plenty of buffs that are just trying to get creative, but this one has been with us since day one, and it is a classic. Switching gears now, we got a very new buff. Spark of the Rebellion has only been with us for the past 9 months or so. June of 2022 is when it came out. It's only granted by Radis, and it's only available to Rogue One, which before this character and this buff was a joke of a faction, which is why they need such an overpowered buff. And this is like a stat salad here. Gain 40% offense up and 30 speed. When it attacks, recover 20% health protection. Empires defeated by it can be revived. When it's dispelled, you get 40% turn meter, 5% upload progress to him, and protection up 50% for 2 turns. It's just so much stuff shoved into one buff. It really is an overpowered buff, and if it wasn't limited to just Rogue One, it would just be broken. And you know, you needed a broken buff to fix a broken faction in Rogue One, because before him, very pitiful. And switching gears back to simplicity, we got Retribution here. I'm pretty sure this was a day one buff, so it came to us in November 2015, and the beauty is in its simplicity, 100% counter chance. It doesn't get much more simple than that. And what I love about it so much, and what I love about counterattacks, is I think it's just kind of such a broken mechanic. It's giving so much more. If you get attacked if you attack a character with this, you get attacked yourself. It's like a stack of extra turns, because on plenty of turns you just use a basic, and when you hit someone with that retribution, you're in effect giving them an extra turn. Plenty of characters give this out to their whole team, notably Sith Eternal Emperor, Kenobi with his middle ability if your team has no buffs on them, Grief Karga's giving it out, Range Troopers giving it out to Imperial Trooper allies, this guy, all Empire, and Shaak Ti gives it out on her unique. It's not like an AoE just grant, but if a Clone Trooper her gets hit, they get Retribution. So it just feels so great, like as an offensive tool or defensive tool. When you get up Retribution on your whole team, you feel safe, or you feel like they're gonna just go down really quick. Especially with Sith Eternal Emperor in like territory battle or conquest, I really love getting out that Retribution on everyone. Yeah, love Retribution. Second to last one I'm covering here, and it's, I think this could be probably controversial and you don't even get to use it much, but I'm kind of looking back to Riposte in set 2. This is a unique buff to just Dooku, so naturally in the game, normally he's the only one that can get it. I don't know when the Dooku rework was. I think it might have been April or May 2019, but I think that's when Riposte came in. I don't know if it was there before that, honestly, guys. But the definition is simple: attacks out of turn, ignore protection. So this was, we saw how broken it was set 2 Datacrons with Jedi and Rebels. They could each get it, and it was just insane. You just go right into the protection, and it was, it was not very balanced. It was kind of overpowered to have actual good characters, unlike Dooku have it, but I really enjoyed it, and I wouldn't even complain if it came back, even though it was so broken. The last one on the list today for me is We Adapt or Die, another unique buff coming to us in January 2022. So it's one of those 2022 stat salad buffs to fix a broken, not really faction, but broken segment of a faction. You're only giving it out to Imperial troopers that don't have a leader tag and aren't droids. So just very specific. So these are the ones that can get it. She gives it out in Versio. 30% crit chance, 30% offense, 30 speed, revive with 70% health if defeated. If dispelled, recover 80% health, gain 80% turn rate, and can't be critically hit for 2 turns. So this is just a ridiculous amount of effects. And if it weren't for this buff, Hide Versio team, I mean, they still have a lot going even when they don't have the buff up, but it just really ramps them up to a huge degree. And it takes a lot of these characters who are like considered pretty useless before her, and she has a lot of other stuff making them work, but I really enjoy this buff. Really enjoy getting it out to the team. Just feels like you're doing so much more, and even when you lose it, you get so much good stuff happening. 80% turn meter and basically crit immunity for 2 turns, which should get you back to your next dose of We Adapt or Die. So amazing overpowered buff if it weren't limited to such a small group of characters. So that is it for me today with my favorite buffs. I hope to do a few spin-off of this, like my least favorite buffs, my favorite debuffs, my least favorite debuffs, stuff like that. But let me know what are some of your favorite buffs right now in the game. Not necessarily the best, but just what are your favorites? What do you like using? Anyway, thanks for watching, and see you later.